Our visit to Chief F.R.A. Williams' estate, also known as K Farms in Iju, Lagos, is as a result of an impending danger which could easily obliterate over 1,000 residents here, if not checked. The looks on the faces of these residents tell it all. They are apprehensive about the activities of vandals who have turned national assets into personal property. The oil and gas pipeline that passes through the estate has been breached again. To get to one of the points, we take a trip down the swampy terrain.
Easy.
Sorry, madam.
Sorry.
On arrival at one of the collection points dug up by the vandals, there was already a substantial amount of fuel collected. This is danger at their backyard.
We stand the risk of an explosion taking place. God forbid, should explosion take place, thousands of lives would be lost, houses will be destroyed. Because if there's an explosion in the pipeline, we all know it's even stronger than, almost as strong as a big bomb.
If you miss the stick, that place goes down small.
The residents claim that the activities of these vandals became apparent after they engaged the services of Swamp Boogie for some months to clear the thick bushes and shrubs that served as the cover for their illicit trade.
Rent some a boogie that took almost 3 months, and you know what it takes. The money we spend runs to millions of naira, So then, which we think then that the activities of these vandals might, reduce or maybe totally eliminated. But then I think the thing is getting escalated day after day. Since that July that we first noticed it, there've been series of these vandals. They usually maybe come in the evening, in the night, to say, by 2-3 hours, they are done.
We are absolutely concerned. Well, this is an estate of very responsible families that live here, and you would discover that we are very sensitive to the issue of abiding to the rules and regulations and the laws of the country. Surrounding these estates are various notable infrastructure, like the power line. We maintain adequate setback from the power line. If you go around the estate, you will see that the houses have maintained adequate setback from the various pipelines. Even the canal that is the subject of our concern right now, you can see how distant most of the houses are from this area. So to a large extent, there is this consciousness within the estate that we need to be very law abiding and make sure that things are done properly. And that is why when we see a threat like this, we are very concerned. And that's why we are really calling on government, all the agencies of government that needs to provide protection for this estate, to please do something now. We don't want a situation whereby there will be a fire outbreak or there will be any form of disaster. Lives and properties are at stake here, and that's why we need government to really do something now.
They also say they've made several representations to the NNPC and security agencies for intervention. They fear the worst could happen if the threat is not addressed, considering recent fire outbreaks in different parts of Lagos.
This bush was like a wall to that river, and they operate via the river. Each time they come through the river, through Alagbole area, come through the river, and they open fuel, diesel, and kerosene. So when they operate, they come with canoe. The sack they use in doing all these things about 200 kg. Sometimes they load about 20, as we are told, tie it on the canoe. The canoe will drag it to a safe place where they transload. Sometimes too, they use pipe, hose. There is this lengthy hose that we see here. The hose is as long as maybe from here to Ogba, very lengthy. Chief William Chambers, they wrote to the police, civil defense, they wrote to the NNPC, pipeline, that is in charge of pipeline, the general manager, Mosimi, that is NPSC in Mosimi. They went there 2 times, but the second day they went there and this letter was acknowledged. This same letter has been sent to Abuja.
At the moment, they erected security posts with the hope that the relevant authority will send in personnel to man them.
Well, government has a responsibility to provide security for its own infrastructure. So there is a need to put, security men available here, whether it's the police, the civil defense, or soldiers, because this is a major national asset that happens to be passing through this estate. So government has a responsibility to provide adequate security. We can collaborate as partners to provide infrastructure and support, but we do not have the paraphernalia of security. That belongs to government, and that is what government needs to do at this point in time.
So we are doing our best now to see how we will arrest the situation. What we are doing now is to build a security post here, which you can see, and by the grace of God, before weekend we will complete it. But having said this, we are still, you see the light here too. So what we are begging the government to do is to come to our aid.
We are calling on government to come and monitor their pipeline here. There's always a situation in which people are bunkering the oil here. So the government needs to come and put in place a security that would ensure the protection of their facility. Here we are not safe. We are not even sleeping any longer within here. So if anything should happen, untoward things happen here, nobody within this area, and this estate is bonded by different community around. We have Ajuwon, Obawole axis, Okeira axis, and Ijuwata Works axis. So nobody can say is allowed or is safe within here.
With the NNPC recording a steady increase in pipeline vandalism, daily loss of crude oil, as well as the possibilities of fire outbreaks, fixing this should be a matter of priority.